Hello and welcome, it's Leon Street here, and I've got a really exciting presentation to give you guys today. And as the title reads, Revealed, it's all about the 7 pillars to building a 6 or 7 figure coaching business using the Vortex V3 methodology. And the whole point of today's presentation is to give you a whistle-stop tour of these key 7 steps that you're going to need to implement in your coaching business. So, whether you're a business coach, mindset coach, transformation coach, career coach, dating coach, relationship coach, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're a coach and you're looking to take your business to 6 or 7 figures, this is the training for you. And I'm going to take you through some stats. I'm going to take you through some of the key things that are working for us in our business. And I'm going to reveal each step, each of these 7 pillars in detail so that you understand exactly what's going to happen in your business. So I'm going to move forward, we're going to crack on, and we're going to kick us off with some stats. And the key thing and the key reason why I want to show you these stats, I want you to get a real idea and feel for what's currently going on in the marketplace right now in the UK. And yes, there are huge stats for worldwide, including the United States, but I just want to stick with the UK for the moment, just so you get a feel for what's possible and what's out there. So in the UK, total population 65 million, internet users 60 million. That's 92% of the population are internet users, and I can attest to this because actually even my 4-year-old daughter uses my tablet, and when she goes onto my tablet computer, she's generally on YouTube watching kids programs. So it's quite interesting to see that actually there's only around about 5 million people who aren't using the internet. So there's that much penetration. It's huge. So then you've also got active social media users, 42 million. So that's 64% of the population. And then people with mobile subscriptions, 73 million. So I think we've got a few people there who've got more than one mobile phone, but hey ho, they must be ultra busy. And then we've got active mobile social users. So you can see out of the active social users, what is that? 37 million of those out of that 42 are actually active on a mobile. So huge numbers, huge numbers. So let's look at social network sites worldwide ranked by a number of active users. Now, this stat was taken back in January 2017, but you can see even back then, Facebook was at 1.87 billion. I can tell you as of the recording of this presentation, they're currently sitting at around about 2 billion monthly active users. Then you've got WhatsApp in second place, then Facebook Messenger in third, both of those with 1 billion. And again, those stats have probably increased since these stats were taken. And then you've got a few other international social network sites, QQ, WeChat, Qzone, and then we've got Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, and there's a few others, and we've got Snapchat at the bottom of this particular graph. So the reason why I'm showing you this is so you get an understanding of, these numbers are actually huge, and it's no wonder as a coach you get excited and about the possibilities, but also it can kind of be daunting. It's like, well, there's that many people who are on these social networking sites. How can I make that work for me in my business? You're probably thinking. Well, let's look at a few more just to be very clear. So look at the number of monthly active Facebook users worldwide as of the second quarter of 2017. So you can see since January, that's jumped up to 2 billion. So the numbers don't lie. And as you can see, it's been a steady increase. And you can see there's actually been a steeper increase in the recent, I'd say probably past year and a half. So it just goes to show the uptake is huge. And when you consider that the total population of the earth is around about, I think it's somewhere near 7.2 billion, it goes to show us a lot of people who are using Facebook right now. So let's look at the distribution of Facebook users. So generally, if you're a coach, you're probably going to be targeting people who are at least 18, I would imagine. I mean, for us, our target audience are around the 30-year mark. And so you can see there's some numbers there for different ages. We've got 18 to 24, 25 to 34, 35 to 44, 45 to 54 years. And so, this is giving you a true indication of the demographics based on age that are currently on Facebook. And you can see it's split into female, who are the light blue colored ones, and male, who are the navy colored bars on this particular chart. And so there's a lot of people there, and I'm sure there's a lot of customers waiting there, so long as you can make your marketing work. So the numbers are huge, and like I said before, you should be getting excited about this, and I definitely am, and that's why I've got these graphs on here to show you, give you an idea of what's out there. But focusing on these big numbers is one thing, but getting to your direct customers is another. And let's face it, guys, we don't need many customers to actually take our business to 6 or 7 figures. We just need to tap into the right ones. So here's the thing. Here's the real story, guys. It's not your fault. It's not your fault that up until now that probably you've not made it work in your coaching business. There's a lot of information out there, and it can be overwhelming. You can get distracted by the many different things, and even the numbers I just showed you in terms of social media, it can it can keep you stuck in whatever space or place you are, because you're probably thinking, well, that sounds awesome, but where do I start first? Where do I go first? What do I do first? And it's not your fault. There's a lot of information out there, and more to the point, there's a lot of false information in terms of there's great numbers, and you can do great things in terms of great sales, take your business to this and that, and actually people don't really break down how that happens. They generally, the experts tell you, jump online, get on social media, and then it's kind of like you do that, and the realization kind of hits home. It's not working. But I'm here to tell you that you can do this. The thing that's missing is the right strategy to take you to the place that you need to be, to take your coaching business to 6 or 7 figures. You see, there's a lot of hidden enemies out there. There's, as I mentioned, these experts, there's gurus, even in your local city or town. There's people out there, maybe you've been networking, maybe you've got in touch with people, maybe people have got in touch with you, they've called you up, trying to, tout to get your business, and they're out there because they're in business, they're service-based companies, whether they're web designers, marketing agencies, whatever they are, and they're trying to win your business, but in doing so, they do it without full understanding of actually how to make it work for themselves. What they're providing is a service rather than a guaranteed result, a guaranteed blueprint to make it work. So as it says there in point number 4, your suspicions are true. You should be suspicious of what's going on right now, because the huge numbers and your current status, maybe even your bank account, don't add up. You're like, yeah, I get it, Leon. There's 2 billion people on Facebook, but yet I'm not attracting in the kind of numbers to account for that amount of people on Facebook compared to what I should be selling. And, again, you should be suspicious of what's going on out there. But I'm here to tell you once again that when somebody lays it out for you, they have a proven blueprint, they have the key steps for you to take. That's what you're looking for. Because I understand you've got dreams, and I understand you have goals. If you're watching this right now, it's because your business isn't in the place that you want it to be, but you've identified that you need to take the next step to get it to 6 or 7 figures. Or even better yet, you just need something that you can rely on, trust, put your faith in. And this is something that we see regularly with our clients. And so I just wanted to establish this with you first of all, because we understand, and we're here to help make your dreams and goals happen. So here's our story. It's myself, Leon Street, on the left, and in the middle, my business partner, Robert Smith, and then we've also got Phil Faulkner on the right. And we created our company, Business Owner Elevation, purely because we saw a gap in the market. We could see that coaches weren't being fulfilled on promises, and we wanted to make a difference. And so what we did, we came together and pulled our skills so that we could deliver this to coaches. We could help coaches move to the next level. We offer marketing strategy, online marketing, things like marketing funnels, Facebook ads, direct response, email marketing, many different things. Plus, how to do high value sales, how to close sales, and then online course creation. And so what we could see is that the online market space was just filled with people who, were offering false promises. We'd been there ourselves. We were looking for solutions, and we come across some people. We'd hired some coaches ourselves, and we found some people that didn't work, and then we found some people that did work, and then we mixed into it our own 27 plus years of experience, and we came up with the right solution. We came up with a methodology, which is what I'll talk about a bit later. So what we've done since we set up the business, we've run a number of events for coaches and entrepreneurs, and you can see on the screen right now is a picture of some of our community looking a bit scary and some just looking a bit fun. And so this was at the end of one of our events called our IPM event, which was the Influence, Persuasion, Mindset and Marketing event. And this was all about how you take your business to 6 and 7 figures. And so, as I said, we have skills in lead generation, sales, direct response, copywriting, and how to get people to buy more of your services and programs. I've spoken around the world, as have Phil and Rob. We have 20 plus years experience within the team. I think it's around about 27 because Rob is the older one out of all of us, but don't tell him I told you. And, we like to focus on action takers because we are action takers. We eat, sleep and breathe marketing. And, when it comes to taking your business to the next level as a coach, you're listening and watching the right presentation right now. So here's just a few examples of testimonials from some of the people that we've helped over the years. And these are more recent ones. OMG, I'm amazed by how powerful Facebook actually is and the way to target selective audiences. Thank you guys for sharing this, by Tina Jones. I'm actually going to be showing you some things about Facebook targeting in one of the pillars a bit later. Loved the content. You guys are really giving some quality content. That's from Mark Clayton, and he's a coach as well. Wow, I'm all the way in Trinidad and Tobago and I'm reaping the knowledge of her expertise. And that's from Natasha De La Rosa. Awesome, phenomenal, powerful, amazing value. Just wow, thank you. And that's from Debbie Singh. Seriously, can't stop writing notes. Ideas are brimming. I can't say thank you enough. You've really hit the nail on the head with each and every section, with clear knowledge and processes and most of the language and tone, which is easy to follow, which is cool. My intentions for my business are much clearer, which is helping me consider the content and context of where I use each part. And that's from Michelle Howard. And the final one on the screen, I can't thank you guys enough for the valuable nuggets in this. From day one, certain things just resonated with me and the light went on. I can really see the impact of how your strategies will have a profound effect on my business. The EBM formula was a game changer for me. I thought what I was doing was good, but I had no clear foundation. That's Valerie Campbell. Guys, we're going to be touching on the EBM formula as well as a few other things later in the presentation. So, we've done a lot of things right, guys, and I just want to state this very clearly. But we've also done a lot of things wrong. And if you're in business and you've been in business, at least a year, you'll probably recognize that actually you've done a lot of things wrong as well. And it's out of those wrongdoings, the failures, things not quite working out right, that you get your biggest discovery. And that's what's happened with us. And so out of it, what we found out was that getting consistent leads, clients and cash can be made simple using the Vortex V3 methodology. And this is what I was speaking about a moment ago. We came up with a methodology that we found actually works and gets results. So my goal for this talk is to show you that the only way for you to achieve true marketing success is through the V3 methodology. And the only way to get the V3 methodology is through the Vortex program, which is our key program that coaches go on to take their business to the next level. You can see on the right, there's a diagram of the Vortex V3 methodology. We've got IA at the top, which is an impact accelerator. We've got EBM on the right, which stands for education-based marketing. And then on the bottom left, we have AP, which stands for automated processes. And I'll go into those a little later. So let's move forward. So here it is, guys. The days of easy and cheap paid traffic, they're long gone. Long gone, guys. And I just want to make this clear. getting paid from traffic and picking up, leads, visitors to your landing pages, to your websites, they're long gone. Going back 10 years ago, you could probably get to number one on Google in literally like a day or a week at the max. But things have changed. Facebook, used to be much easier as well. You could get lots of exposure, and then Facebook changed their algorithm in terms of how your news items, like what you see in your news feed, show up, and they've changed it so that people see less. And the reason for that is because as Facebook grew, you could imagine with 2 billion people on Facebook, it'd be very cluttered on your timeline if you've got more than, let's say, 200 friends. And that's what happened. The numbers have gone up. I think the average, just off the top of my head, in terms of friends count on Facebook is somewhere in the region of 200 to 480 the last time I checked the stats. So here's the thing, your marketing needs to convert to get through the clutter and to make it work in terms of your budget. So I just want to talk about our results first of all, before we get into the 7 pillars. I want to talk you through the system we use to get real results. And please understand that our results are not typical, because the average person who attends any workshop or talk like what I'm doing right now, you can only get limited results. Remember, this is stuff that we've learnt for many years. I've been doing this myself personally for 20 years. I started at the tender age of 17 when I first set up my first website. So, I've been doing this long enough to know what works when it comes to internet marketing. However, I'm happy to share with you for free today exactly what's working for us at Business Owner Elevation and our clients. So pillar number 1, we're going to get straight into it: how to overcome overwhelm and stay focused while building your coaching business. So beliefs. This is the first step, and it's important that we establish powerful beliefs, because when it comes to really believing in yourself, there are only ever 2 things to consider. And these are, you either don't think you deserve it, or you don't think you can pull it off. And sometimes you may have heard of this as sometimes referred to as imposter syndrome. It's kind of like, you feel like it shouldn't be you, or you're not the right person to be doing it, or what you're attempting isn't going to be effective, it's not going to work, and all the naysayers have probably said stuff. And you can even get to a point where you may even pay attention to what they're saying, or better yet, you might believe what the naysayers are saying. And that's not a great place to be in, especially when you're a coach trying to build your business to 6 and 7 figures. If you've already hit the 6-figure mark, your beliefs, I would say, they're probably stronger. But if you're heading towards the 6-figure mark, this is going to be something that you really need to add strength to and really believe in yourself to make it happen. So the next step is understanding values. So what do you value, and what are you prepared to go for? Yeah, think about that for a moment. What are you prepared to go for? What keeps you focused? Yeah. And so these are things that you should be answering. So whether you've got a journal, a diary, a notepad, you should be writing this down and making notes and actually answering the questions rather than just saying it to yourself in your head. Write it down. What do you value, and what are you prepared to go for? What keeps you focused? And the reason for this is, let's break this down. Beliefs are almost like, the example we've got on the screen, the car or a car. Your values are like the fuel in the car, and your strategy about where you're headed is you, because you are the driver. But in order to understand where you're going from point A to point B, this strategy needs to be clear. If you're in the real world, you can probably turn your smartphone on, jump onto Google Maps, type in the destination, and they do all the hard work for you on the app. But when it comes to marketing your business and selling in your business, to take your business to 6 and 7 figures, there is no Google Maps. But what there is the Vortex V3 methodology. And that's why in this first pillar, we speak about values, we speak about beliefs, and we focus on strategy, because you do need to know where you're going using a proven map or blueprint. So strategy, this rarely changes whilst tactics come and go. So let me give you a quick example in terms of strategy and tactics. A strategy might be you're taking your business to 6 figures to serve your clients better so you can deliver more of your coaching services. Whereas a tactic is something like doing Facebook ads or Google ads or search engine optimization, or even posting things on LinkedIn or advertising on LinkedIn. These are tactics. These are routes to your audience. These aren't the message. These aren't the map to you being ultra successful. These are just the routes for you to get there. Yeah. So the strategy is the key thing. It's the foundation of where you choose to take your business over the next 1, 2, 3, 5, or even 10 years. So a strategy rarely changes because it is the plan. It's the plan of executing your marketing. So that wraps up pillar 1. Pillar 2 is how to establish a profitable niche so you can raise your fees and get paid what you're worth. The issue. So when it comes to your clients, the key thing with any successful business is being able to identify the problems and needs of your target audience. And the way that you do this is to find a market where your customers are already buying. Now, this is something that I speak about quite regularly, and I was delivering a talk on this actually recently to some small business owners and entrepreneurs. And what I said to them is that I hear this from some coaches where they say, actually, what I'll do is find a market where there are no competitors, so it's easier for me to get out there, and win customers. And what I said to them is that generally that's not the best route. That's the first step in finding yourself in a market where you're not going to make any sales. Because if you go to a brand new market where there's no competitors, it's probably because there's nobody buying there. You always go to a place where your customers are already buying, because that's a sure sign that there's money to be made. What your job is, though, is to carve out your own niche, which is what we're going to get onto in a moment. So you must go to a place or find a market where your customers are already buying. So they're buying off potential clients maybe. You then find a sub-market so you can dig a bit deeper and have more focus on who you want to serve. Yep. So an example of this would be the top market might be wealth. And in there, maybe let's say you're focusing on accountants. So that would be one area you could go after. And then once you understand that's your sub-market, you then need to carve out your niche. And generally, a niche are the characteristics of that type of business that you wish to target, because it makes it very clear to you when it comes to your targeting. So your niche, as an example, could be small business accountants who are turning over 250 to 500,000 in the West Midlands or whatever locality you're in, wanting to move to the 7-figure mark. So you can see that what I've stated there is small business accountants. I've then gone into how much they turn over, so more demographics about this particular type of company. Then I've gone into location, the West Midlands, which is a place in the UK. So now I've put in what their desire is. So this is what they want to hit the 7-figure mark. So you can see here that by identifying a niche, carving out a niche, you become very focused, and therefore your message to your audience can become ultra focused, and therefore the message to your market matches. And this is a really important thing. So whenever you're launching a campaign or you're going after your customers, there's a saying that says or goes along the lines of, you must have a message to market match if you wish for your business or your marketing to be effective and successful. So I hope that makes sense, guys. So message to market match, and that's from, as I said, carving out your own niche. So let's move forward. So the next thing, you need to establish your guarantee. So when you carve out your own niche, remember, even though you're very focused and there's probably not a competitor going specifically for the niche that you're after, you still need to back your products and services to really stand out amongst any crowd, even if there was any kind of confusion by your target audience. Yeah. And so the best way to do that is by having a guarantee. So you're backing your products and services, and it shows that you have your own confidence in your own products and services. And this is a great thing from a customer's perspective, because if somebody's willing to guarantee what they're about to offer, what they're about to sell to you, then obviously there's some belief there. Remember going back to that old one, belief. The next thing is that by having a guarantee, you reverse risk. And this actually comes from a top old school marketer by the name of Jay Abram, and this is something that he speaks about. And he always says that whenever you have a guarantee, you're actually reversing the risk of your customer. Yeah. So your customer then, especially if you've got like a money back guarantee or you've got a service based guarantee, your customer doesn't have to think about what if it doesn't work or what if I don't get the result, because the risk is reversed. The guarantee backs it up. And if you are a coach and you don't have a guarantee in place, yes, you can, and you don't need to fear it. It may seem a bit scary, especially if you don't have a guarantee already, or maybe you do have a guarantee, but it's a pretty kind of like flimsy one. I.e., I'll use the example, 100% satisfaction guarantee. Do you know what I mean? It's like, who actually goes after a 100% satisfaction guarantee? Imagine if that morning your customer wakes up, they have your service or use your product, and they realize or just say to themselves, actually, I'm not satisfied today. Does that mean that they're entitled to getting their money back, or I don't know, getting some kind of reward, or compensation? Are they? I'm sure somebody can tell me the answer. Maybe Phil or Rob can help me out on that one. But anyway, here's how you can prevent that, guys. When you put a guarantee together, simply have action clauses. So if you are a coach, maybe you put into it that you have a work guarantee. So what this means is you offer a 30-day money-back guarantee so long as the work is completed that's given to them either in a product or a program. You see? So you're creating a clause whereby the customer has to do something, show they've done the work in order to trigger the guarantee if for any reason that the service or the product doesn't deliver on the result that was promised. But that way, the action clauses showing that your customer has either watched videos in your product or done the work that you've set them as a coach, this is what helps to guarantee your safety and your assurance against the customer, just in case of that kind of customer who you find out that actually they just wanted to get your product and get their money back and walk away with whatever they got from your product or service for free. And I don't believe there's many of those people, but this is how you protect yourself. And actually, by having this type of guarantee, you know that anybody who's looking to get your product or service is going to be somebody who is an action taker, because the guarantee states that it's based on them taking action. So let's move on, guys. The next thing is competence. So as a coach, you need to show and demonstrate competence. So you can't offer your products or services without knowing your topic or knowing your service. Can you imagine that? Well, the thing is, I know it's a reality, and unfortunately in our industry of coaches, there's people out there who they don't know their topic, they don't know their service, and they're selling it because it's the kind of new bright shiny object, and it's not a great thing. And you've probably been there where you can see people not really delivering or doing your industry I would say, doing it or giving it the type of delivery, the value, or doing right by your industry. And that can be annoying, because sometimes what you find is these people actually end up getting, customers. And sometimes you can focus on it and think, actually, why did those customers go with this person? But here's the thing, guys, don't worry about it. These people get found out, and we call them crooks, because eventually people who just sell products, services, especially high value ones, and then don't deliver or don't really back up what their claims are, they get found out eventually. So what I'm saying to you guys is, show your competence, have integrity about your work, make sure that you focus on being able to get and deliver the result that your client wants. As a coach, it's your responsibility to guide people. You're their trusted advisor, their trusted mentor. You need to deliver for them. And I would say that it's an important value you must have within you as a coach. So be competent and show integrity. Here's the other thing, guys. So maybe you're thinking, well, what level of competence do I need to go to, Leon? Do I need to get a degree? Do I need to go and get, an MBQ? Do I need to get a master's or a PhD? No. There's one very simple rule, guys, and it's true in any business. Stay one step ahead of your customer. That's it. One step ahead of your customer. So if you can stay one step ahead of your customer, you'll always win, because you'll know that you're ahead of what the customer needs to fix their problem or serve their need. And it's not meant to be rocket science, guys. It's just meant to be you delivering on the promise and getting your customer the result that they're after by using your product or using your service. That's it. So pillar number 3 then, guys, we're moving through this pretty swiftly. How to achieve your income goals each and every month with predictability and certainty. So price of products, we're going to start here. First of all, you got to know what the marketplace is offering and position yourself medium to high. You never go in at the bottom or cheap. And you know, quite often I hear coaches saying, actually, I'm going to start off pretty cheap. I'm going to undercut people. I'm going to underprice people. You know, people will see the great value in what I offer. You know, I'll get loads of customers because I'm cheaper than the other person, or I'll do a discount rate when I first start because I'm new and I just want to put myself out there, get more customers. And the thing is, these types of coaches, I come across them so regularly, and these are the ones that are struggling. They're struggling to make ends meet. They're struggling by offering per hour services. You know, I remember speaking to one coach, and she was telling me what her prices are, and I was like, wow, it's too cheap. And she says, well, for the area that I'm delivering my services in, I need to be priced similar to what the competition are doing, or the people that I'm seeing, you know, doing well. And I said to her, you can't do that. You can't compare yourself to the bottom of the heap, because the bottom of the heap remains the bottom of the heap, the crap. And, you know, if you're going to move into a place where people are going to respect you, people start to respect you, not just from your content and what you put out as your marketing. People respect what they see when they see your prices. Yeah, so you need to make sure your prices of your products or services are actually medium to high. Now, I've got 2 pictures on the screen there. On the left, we have a Rolls Royce, and on the right, we have a BMW 7 Series. Now, with these 2 cars, they may look different from the outside, but on the inside, they both sit on the same chassis. And to you and me, that's simply the frame that the wheels and the body are attached to. They're owned by the same company, just to let you know. BMW own Rolls Royce. And you know, when you've specced out the BMW to its maximum options, it's probably going to cost you about £100,000. But on the left, you have the Rolls Royce, which is going to cost you about £300,000, 3 times the value of a BMW 7 Series. And believe you and me, that BMW is going to feel like luxury. There's leather seats, heated seats. It's probably going to have like a 5 or 6 litre engine, which is going to be pretty much similar to what the Rolls Royce is going to have. And they're both going to take you from A to B. But why is it that some people choose to buy the Rolls Royce, which is 3 times the price? They could simply get the BMW 7 Series. They're going to get from A to B. It's going to be pretty comfortable, I would imagine. But why did they choose the Rolls Royce? Here's the thing, guys. Some people want premium, and you need to offer them premium. Yeah, if you go in at cheap, you go in at low, that's what people are going to think of you. So it's better off starting in the middle. If your confidence isn't quite there, at least start in the middle, guys. It's going to give you a chance. It's going to give you an opportunity for you to grow your coaching business to 6 and then 7 figures. So look at the pricing of your products and services. And if you believe that they're too cheap, or you started off cheap, I would advise you to look at those right now. So the next thing is yearly income goals. Now that you understand about pricing and not to be down at the bottom of the heap, you need to focus on what are your yearly goals. Break it down into quarters, so every 3 months, and then break it down into months, weeks, and then from there, focus on how many sessions, how many calls can you do with prospective clients, because that's what's going to lead you to your ultimate goal. You've got to focus on the long term, but chunk it down, break it down into manageable chunks so that you can tick things off. It's like having a checklist. When you have your checklist and you write the things that you've got to do for the day or the week, as you tick them off, it's saying to yourself, I'm making progress. So when you've got goals and you want to hit that income goal, have chunks that you're moving towards, because it will also act as validation to yourself and say to yourself, by seeing the result, I am making progress. And there's a diagram that I regularly use, especially when I'm teaching coaches, so that they understand more about where they're headed. And it focuses on knowing that you have potential, but in order for that potential to move to the next stage, you've got to take action. You take action, which helps you to get the results. And from those results, you can then move to the next stage of increased belief. Then you can raise your potential, and that cycle starts over again. So guys, your yearly income goals must be broken down into monthly, then weekly, and then into sessions. So sessions would be like, how many strategy calls are you booking? How many discovery calls are you doing? How many people are booking into your diary? How many people are opting in for your offers, which then lead to either a sale or lead to a call? Make sure that you know the numbers and you work the numbers. I've been there in the past, and I'll tell you what, when you don't focus on the numbers, then have a guess what? You don't know what the numbers are, and they don't magically appear to what you want them to be. The saying goes, where your attention goes, the energy flows. So focus on your income goals, guys. So sales time. This is really important. Now, if you're confident at selling, or if you're not confident at selling, it's massive. You must, as a coach, book in sales time. And as it says, if it's not scheduled in, it doesn't happen. It's simple, because if it doesn't happen, it's sporadic. It's, oh, I'll do some calls later. And then you'll get a call from maybe a client or somebody trying to sell you something. It interrupts your day. You lose another hour. Before you know it, sales time just hasn't happened today. And then that day turns into weeks, months. And then you start looking at your bank account and you're up a creek without a paddle. Yeah. So schedule sales time in. My tip here, guys, is schedule sales. This is where you pick up the phone and speak to people. And if you don't have leads, just pick up the phone, having done a bit of research of potential people you could speak to, reach out to people on Facebook. Just do outreach, as it says. Outreach, just reach out to people. Look at who could be a joint venture partner. Who could you partner with where you both serve the same types of customers, but you serve them in different ways. You don't offer the same services or products. Maybe you've got strategic partners who refer clients to you. Do outreach. Schedule a day of your week for sales. And there's a simple clue. The more sales calls you do, the more sales results you get. It's common, guys. It's common knowledge, but it's not common practice. So I hope you make it your common practice, and every week as a minimum, absolute minimum, you have sales penciled into your diary. So make a day in your week sales day, and believe you and me, that's going to be one of the key steps in you growing this business to 6 and 7 figures. So pillar number 4, how to overcome overwhelm and stay focused while building your coaching business. Now, this is a massive one, guys. I speak to a lot of coaches, as does Phil and Rob, and quite a lot, when just before we're about to help a coach and they're telling us what their biggest problems are, they're like, we're overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. Like, there's so much information. I don't know where to turn, what to do, who to trust. And you know what, guys? We get it. We understand it. We've helped enough coaches to know how to fix this. So here's the key thing. With your business, to take it to 6 and 7 figures, or at the very least, just to get you in a place where, you're beyond comfortable. It's kind of like you're moving, you've got enough money in the bank, you pay your bills, you can treat yourself, maybe take yourself, your family out for a meal, or even just friends. You need to focus on the marketing, and any good marketing should have a base principle of £1 in, £2 out. So every time you invest £1, you get £2 out. And this is something that we teach all of our clients, all of our coaching clients, to make sure they're focused on what is the best method for them to grow. So in order to do this, you've got to know your numbers. So we're going to use an example. Let's say you have a coaching program, a service for £2,000. And out of that £2,000, let's go with a a rough estimate that you have a profit margin after costs and wages of about 60%. So 60% of your £2,000 is profit. Then what you do is take that 60%, which is £1,200, the profit, and let's say we use 20% of the 1,200, which would be £240. Yep. So we're going to use that for an ad budget. So this is for advertising budget. This leaves you with a respectable £960 net from that £2,000 service. So this means you actually have £960 profit, which is cool, you know. And out of that, we're about to use £240 for ad budget. So let's say your customer acquisition cost is an average of £40. Yeah. So we're saying for every new customer that you attract in, it's costing you £40. And so we've actually gone a little high compared to some of the results that we've got right now. But I'm doing this so you can still understand what the numbers are. And let's say for your budget, you attracted in 10 leads and ended up spending £480. So actually, you've spent a little more than what your budget estimate was. But let's look at the numbers now. Out of those 10 leads, you close 1 in 5 onto your £2,000 coaching program, and you end up with 2 sales. So 2 sales of £2,000, which works out to £4,000, giving you a profit of £1,920. So if you divide the £1,920 by 480, the amount that you spent on your ads, this gives you a £1 in and £4 out in profit for your marketing investment. So what I'm showing you here, guys, is that once you know your numbers, you know where you can accelerate your business, because once you understand that you have a profitable marketing channel, you can now put more into it and get more out. So I'm hoping this is making sense, guys. This is like having a bank where you deposit £1 and they give you £4 out every time you withdraw from that ATM cash machine. Now, I'm sure everybody watching this right now, if I said who would like to have a bank like that, everybody would have their hands up. Well, here's the thing, guys. People do have this available to them, especially coaches who are making their marketing work for them. And when you use the Vortex V3 methodology, this is what we teach. This is why I'm showing you these numbers right now, because we want you to understand that the key is that you understand the numbers, you understand your customer acquisition costs, you understand what it costs to get leads in, and you understand how many people that you can close. And I've put in there 1 in 5. Now, what I find with most coaches is that they become 2 or 3 in 5 closers, especially when they get people on the phone. It's part of what we teach with something I'm going to explain a bit later, our secret sales script. So this is just a basic example so you get a full understanding of what's possible, guys. So how to split your budget? Well, there's 2 key areas when it comes to your ad spend. So in the example that I showed you previously, you simply split it into 2 key areas. You focus 1 on audience building, which helps you to build a list of people. Sometimes this is referred to as a remarketing or retargeting list. But first of all, we need to build a list. We need to build a list of people who've either visited a page, watched a video, they've interacted in some way for us to know that we can now remarket to them. And once we have this list, we then put a budget for conversion campaigns. And so this is where you set up ads that now go out to that specific list of who've already interacted with us. So that means that we're now going after a warm audience. And so this is now focused on lead generation, where we can actually tap into these people and get them to either leave a name, email, or phone number based on us putting some more valuable content in front of them, where they're willing to exchange their name, email, and phone number for what is on offer. So that's just so you know how to split your budgets. Right, so pillar 5. Now, this is an important one. How to create a premium product or service and EBM content. Now, I've up until this point, I've been talking about some of the numbers, and I gave the example with the numbers of a £2,000 coaching program. Now, it's one example. Maybe you've got a 2, 3, 4, 5, or even a £10,000 program. Some of the people we've coached, all of their products and services differ. So depending on what you've got put together, you've probably got a full grasp, I would say, on what you're charging. But if you haven't created the product or service and you're a coach, and let's say you do just one-to-one stuff, you haven't really got anything mapped out, planned out, and you kind of just feel your way around based on what the customer tells you up until now, it's important for you to leverage your time, that you have a predictable system that gets your clients the results and gets you the sales that you're trying to generate to take your business to 6 and 7 figures. So this pillar is all about creating a premium product or service and EBM content that has potential clients pre-sold on why they should work with you. So it's how we get them excited before they're even working with you. So before we get into that, this is Barb. This is one of our clients who we helped her use this very pillar. So how she pre-sold people onto her own course that she put together before they'd even started working with her. So what happened was Barb had put together a £2,000 program. We helped her to identify a gap that she had in her market. And because of this, what she ended up doing was, as it says on the screen, I've managed to pre-sell 3 clients onto my £2,000 online hydrotherapy course, which is a level 4 diploma in canine advanced hydrotherapy practice. Thank you. This is life-changing. So this is from a lady who had a traditional bricks and mortar business where she offered hydrotherapy for dogs, and she offered this as a training format. So she has many different courses, but they were all delivered in person, whereas this one was an online course. And so what she did was she reached out to potential warm market, and off the back of 3 calls, she'd got 3 sales for her £2,000 program, simply off the blueprint that we'd given her in the V3 methodology. So this stuff works, guys, and I just wanted to share this quick story with you. So goals, aspirations, and dreams. So how's this going to help you pre-sell your services and products? Well, here it is, guys. The more you understand your clients in terms of their goals, their aspirations, and their dreams, this is going to help you to create content, whether it's your courses, your products, or even just the general content you put out there, like lead magnets and blogs, which we're going to get onto a bit in a moment. You've really got to dig into the kind of the emotions and the hooks of what people want in their life, your customers. So you can see the picture on the right, a guy, he's dreaming of more money, a house, family, a new child, maybe a new job or opportunity in his suit, or a new car. This is what I want you to understand. What is it that your customers dream about? What is it that your customers have a goal to achieve? What is it that you can help them with in their life to move forward towards? Now, the more you understand your customers' goals and aspirations and dreams, the better and more equipped you are to create courses that get them that result. The more equipped you are to create content that helps them to see that your programs or services help them to get that result. This is why it's important that you understand your customers' goals, aspirations, and dreams. So the way that you do that is by creating how-tos and solutions through content. Maybe you create how-to guides, checklists, lead magnets, cheat sheets. You may have heard of these things. And in them, you're showing them what the problem is and some of the key steps that they can take. But ultimately, you show them that solutions that will fix a problem or serve a need, but in order to get the result, the next step is to either speak to you or come onto one of your programs. That's the whole point of you understanding your customer. You understand them from a point of view of what their needs are, what their problems are, what their goals are. Not necessarily saying how great you are, how good your stuff is in the sense of what it does for you, but how good it is in what it does for your customer. That's the key. So in me telling you this now, you understand more about the aspirations, the goals, the wants, the needs, of your customers. You create this content, but where do you put it out? Do you put it out straight on social media? Do you put it on ads or SEO? Well, let me show you what we've got on the screen. This stat here, this graph shows you the most effective and difficult digital marketing tactics. And the most effective, the top two, are email and website. And the reason why I'm showing you this stat, this was taken back in March 2016, is that the most effective top two are the two key things that any coach should have in their marketing funnel online. Don't just think that because social media has all the huge numbers, that's where the money's done. That's where your message may start, but the money, the actual conversion where you convince people, will be done on your website, so landing pages, and via the emails that you send them when they opt in for the content that you're offering. So with that in mind, let's talk about what the EBM formula is and how it works. So as I said earlier, the EBM formula stands for education-based marketing. EBM is the difference between walking into a furniture shop where the sales assistant, they walk up to you and they say, "How are you doing? Do you need any help?" And you then respond to them with the typical, "No, thank you, I'm just looking." Whereas if you went into the furniture shop with somebody who was using the EBM formula, and then they walk up to you and they say, "Hi, madam," or "Hi, sir," or "How are you doing?" And they said, "Welcome to the store. Let me tell you a bit about our store and the history and why we're so successful in our local area of helping people get the right furniture in a timely fashion to budget where the customer is super happy." Can you see the difference? The first person doesn't really think about the client. Yeah, the first person is not thinking, how can I educate the client? How can I wow them? How can I start conversation so it keeps going? The first person doesn't give any education at all, whereas the second person does. So let me tell you more about EBM formula then, guys. When it comes to online marketing, the first step in EBM content is putting out things on social media. Maybe you've done a Facebook post, a LinkedIn post, Twitter post. Maybe you put a video out on YouTube or done a Facebook Live. So what happens is you're keeping people on the platform, so you're keeping them on the native platform. So if people are on Facebook and you put a post out on Facebook, even a picture or a quote, maybe something on Pinterest, they're just seeing it on that platform. They don't have to go anywhere else. The content is where they are. The next step is that when you create content, you might create blogs and articles, but these blogs and articles are on your website. So you post links on places like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. But the thing is that at this point, the prospect hasn't had to go anywhere. They've just stayed on the platform. But now you're asking them to click on a link to go to your website, and they don't know your website. So there's a little more risk for that customer. There's a little more risk for that prospect. And so what's happening here is those people who do click on the link, they're actually increasing the amount of trust that they have with you, because they're willing to click on the link to go to your website and see whatever you have in this particular article. Then the next step in advancing trust and scaling risk is maybe you put out maybe an ebook, a cheat sheet, a checklist, maybe a video series or a survey. And this again is now asking the person to move from maybe the social media platform that they're on, or whether it's somewhere like a search engine. You're getting them to click on a link, but when they click on that link, they now have to fill in their name and email to get access to this free content. So by filling in name and email, it means increased risk. So they don't know what you're really going to do with their name and email, or how much marketing you're going to do to them. You know, you're going to start to spam them. But either way, if that ebook, the checklist or cheat sheet or video is appealing and they really want to watch it or consume that content, they're probably going to risk by putting their name, email and phone number into the opt-in page. And I'll show you an example of an opt-in page in a moment. But again, what's happening is that you're building more trust with the prospect. The next level of increasing trust would then be somebody attending maybe a seminar or a webinar, which is like an online seminar. And so again, with this, the difference is that they're now committing a name, an email, maybe a phone number, but they're prepared to spend probably an hour minimum with you when it comes to a webinar or a seminar. You know, if it's a seminar, they're willing to travel to come and see you, invest time and money. And so you can see again, the risk is increased, but also the trust is increased. And the most top level of this with the EBM formula, when when it comes to you as a coach would be to get somebody to commit to a phone call to speak about what their problem is so that you can present what you have as a solution. So a strategy call, is the ultimate. If you need to do a strategy call but in person, which is otherwise known as a strategy meeting, well, that's also the same thing. It's where the person commits time to bring to you their need or their problem in the hope that you can help them fix it. This is the ultimate in terms of risk, but it's also the ultimate in terms of you building trust and rapport with the prospect in order to convert them into a customer. So the next step is understanding the mindset of your customers. So let's imagine you put all this content out there, but does that mean that the customer has to see a Facebook post, a blog, a lead magnet like a cheat sheet, a checklist, a webinar before they get to a strategy call? Well, let me tell you, it's not always that case, but this is why. Some people are going to be cold in terms of mindset or knowledge or awareness of you, of your products or services. See, the thing is, your customers, they have a problem, but they aren't aware of a solution. So this is somebody who's cold towards what you're offering. They don't really know of you. Maybe they've come across you, or not come across you just yet. And then you're going to have people who are warm. They know they have a problem, but they're seeking more information. So these are a bit more active people. So they're probably passively looking, just aware maybe something pops up on Facebook, and if the right thing triggers them, maybe they'll get in touch because they'll think, actually, let me get a bit more information. Maybe they want to opt in for an ebook or a checklist maybe that you've got, or a mini guide. And then you've got the final type, and these people are really cool. These are the hot mindset customers. The problem is causing a pain they must fix in their life or business, and they want to fix it now. This is important for you to understand, guys, because what it means is that your marketing has to trigger people at different levels. Cold and warm, these are the people you're going to have to reach out to, make aware. But then there's going to be other people who don't need warming up to that level. They need to know that you can offer them a fix, and they need to then figure out whether or not they can trust you, believe in you. And generally that's going to come from some of the things I spoke about earlier when it comes to guarantees, maybe having testimonials, and for them just to know that you can help them, maybe by the results that you've got for your other clients in those testimonials, which you've probably released as case studies. So the mindset of your customers is an important thing to be aware of, guys. So not everybody is going to need warming up. Some people might have, as an example, a puncture in their car right now, and they need to change the tire now. Whereas some people, they don't have a puncture, and they're not really going to think of you until they do. So it could be 1, 2, 3, could be 12 months. Who knows what the lead time is in your particular industry or niche. But when they do have that problem, these are the kind of cold and warm prospects that when they come to think of needing or having that solution, you want them to think of you first. Right, so now that we know the mindset of the customers, here's an example of how you raise somebody's trust. And here's an example of when somebody visits your website to download an ebook, a cheat sheet, something where they have to opt in. So you see, this is a typical page. They click on the button, they enter their name, email, and then maybe a phone number. And once they click get it now, they're then taken to a thank you page, and then generally they'll be sent an email with a download link for the thing that they've opted in for and requested. So that takes us to pillar 6, guys, how to target your ideal clients using Facebook and create ads that converts. Right, this is a biggie. A lot of coaches out there are interested or are already advertising on Facebook, and they're getting it wrong. And the reason they're getting it wrong, guys, is because they haven't really taken into consideration what we've already discussed in pillars 1 to 5. And so if you take on board all of the things we've gone through, knowing about EBM content, knowing about your strategy, knowing about the market to message match, knowing about your own niche, this is what you need in order to then go on Facebook and get the right person, attract the right person to your service or product. Right, so the first step, and you might be thinking, research, what's that got to do with Facebook? Well, this is the key, guys. You've got to know who your customers are. Remember when I said get into their emotions, desires, dreams, aspirations. We need to really know who they are. And the first step is knowing where to do the research. So there's places like Amazon, which is a big one. Obviously, you can look at what books there are to do with your market. Look at the things that people are reading, understand who are the authors, what are the reviews of those books saying, the positive ones, the negative ones. Find out what the consumers of those books are saying, because that may give you a clue as to what they're needing. The next step is then maybe you want to consider magazines, because you've looked at books. Maybe look at popular magazines within the industry that your clients are. Maybe, it's lifestyle, maybe it's professional, things like Entrepreneur Magazine. There may be Forbes. There may be other things, depending on who the market is that you're targeting. But get those magazines. I've got a few magazines on my desk right next to me, actually, for one of our clients, where we've got some lifestyle magazines, because they provide, in particular, this is one of our elevation clients where we work one-to-one. So this is one of our elite clients, but they provide home services in terms of construction, development, that kind of stuff, windows, conservatories, and various other things for people to upgrade their houses. And as part of the research, what we help them to do is to identify what's in the lifestyle magazines and some of the local magazines where they offer their services. And so maybe, depending on who you're servicing, you need to go into your local shop, magazine store, where you can look at what's on the shelves. What is it that these magazines are saying to the prospects who you're going to serve, the readers of these magazines. Get to know it. You can also look at Google Keyword Planner. So if you go to Google, type in Keyword Planner, they have a free tool that lets you check on Google how many searches people do each month for a given keyword. This is another great tool, and it's free to use. So, if you know that you're offering, let's say, mindset coaching, type that into Google, and it will give you an indication as to how many searches there are each month for mindset coaching. So start using that. It's a real great tool, and it lets you save all your keywords when you add them to a list. It's like a little shopping cart, and then you can download them into an Excel file. So it's very handy. You can look at social media. You can go onto groups, specialist groups that are to do with the market and niche you serve. Check out pages of maybe some of the top competitors, companies in your niche, training companies, just look for different things, get to know them. And once you find the groups, join them, interact in them, see what's going on, be a bit of a snooper, a lurker, look at how the conversation flows, what things people are engaging in most, get to know your customer. Guys, I just want to state one thing. The research phase and doing all of this stuff is important, because if you don't know your customer, your message is always going to be wrong to the customers and the prospects. But it's your job to do this. If you have a bigger team or a bigger company, you have somebody in your marketing team you can hand this over to, then make sure they do it, and they do it to the depth and the level that you would do it, as it's your business. The next thing is look at your competitors, research them, visit their website, check out what they have on offer, check their products, programs, get to know what the competition are offering the market, and just be clear that when you are in that place of understanding who's out there, you can best position yourself with obviously the way you help your customers get results with what you offer in your products and programs. So the next place you can do research is another great tool, just like the Google Keyword Planner tool. This is the main tool that we recommend when it comes to Facebook advertising. You need to check out Audience Insights. It's a free tool, and once you get to Audience Insights, you can visit it by going to www.facebook.com/ads/audience_insights, and that will take you to the page that you can see behind that web address. And you simply click on everyone on Facebook, and then once you do that, Facebook let you then filter down their 2 billion people, and you can start to really focus on how many people are in a particular niche that you want to target. So they let you focus and filter by location, age, gender, interests, behaviors, many different things. I think there's something like over 600 different demographics and interests that you can filter down to find your target audience. And you can see in this particular example, based on the filtering of people in the UK, 18 plus, men and women who are interested in marketing and sales, there are currently 700 to 800,000 monthly active people in the UK. So really great tool, very fast. And obviously once you found that audience, you can then, as it shows in the top right in the green button, go and create an ad and target these people. So really powerful tool. And I just want to say, guys, that if you've not really got into Facebook ads yet, or you're thinking about it, is that it's the number one platform that I would recommend. It's got so much market penetration compared to anything else that has ever existed on this planet. It's ultra immense once you get your targeting right, and that's the key, guys. So if you follow the seven steps that we've laid out in this presentation, you can get the results using the V3 methodology. Like it's a no-brainer. You get your strategy right, you get the tactics right, you follow the blueprint, and you get the results. And so if you've struggled with this up until now, or actually if you've been in a place where it's been scary, it's something that we can actually help you get clear on and get results with. So the next step is, once you've got your audience and you do decide that you want to create an ad, to make this work, to be effective, to get conversions, your headline, your copy, and your image need to stand out on Facebook. Because what you got to realize is that there's a key difference between the likes of Google and Facebook. Google, people are actually searching. They're searching for answers. They're searching for solutions. When people are on Facebook, it's a social experience. People are scrolling. They're kind of wasting time looking at people's GIFs, looking at videos, jokes, pictures, quotes, just many different things. So your ad has to stand out. It has to disrupt. It has to, amongst all the clutter and noise on Facebook, it has to really pinpoint and resonate with your audience. So there's an example of, you can see on the right hand side, one of our ads, where there's a guy who's struggling to reach his wallet. He's down and out on the floor, and he can't quite make it to his wallet. And as it says there, don't end up like this guy. So you've got to use headlines that link to images, disrupt people. It offers like a pattern interrupt. That's the key that you're looking for. So the headline, the copy. So when I say copy, it's the text that you use. All of these things must match up, as well as the image. So headline, copy, image. There's got to be a congruent alignment of all three, and you need to disrupt, offer a pattern interrupt to what people otherwise would see as they're scrolling through Facebook. Here's another example. So you can see it's the same ad in terms of the copy. The headline is the same, but the picture's different. So the key when it comes to Facebook is that you've got to test. You've got to test what works. Just because you create one ad doesn't mean you're going to hit the jackpot. You have to test, figure out what works for you based on the target audience that you're going after. And then the more that you get results, the more you can refine the success of what you're doing with your ad campaigns. So here's an example of where we created a number of videos, and off the back of putting these videos out there, Facebook also allow you to build an audience based on how much viewage, how much viewership your videos have got. So as an example, you can track how many people have watched a video based on 10 seconds, 3 seconds, 25%, 50%, 75%. And if you look in particular, you can see here that for this particular video that we were marketing, we had at least 7,900 people who'd watched this video for at least 10 seconds. So this is going to help you to realize that maybe you want to strategically think about what happens in the first 10 seconds of some of the videos you put together. Maybe you want to think about what happens in the first 50%. Because at that point, you'll know whether or not people have actually come across your brand, your message, and are far more likely to respond when you send them to another ad, or when you market another ad out to these people, when you're retargeting them. So it's a really powerful tool. So when it comes to video views, you can also build an audience on Facebook. Really cool. All right then, so moving on to pillar 7, just one final thing. Facebook, if you're not using it yet, just make sure you get the targeting right before you do start. Don't just jump into it and just think boosting a post, if you've ever done that before, is the answer. You've got to dig deeper and do the things that I said, the research, know your audience, and really get stuck into it from that angle, from where their needs and their problems are served and solved. Okay, pillar number 7, how to remove hard selling when enrolling clients using our proven secret discovery call process. Now, this is a big issue for a lot of coaches we come across, but fortunately we have this one solved. Selling, that old chestnut. So for some people, it can be a scary thing, but let's see what Zig Ziglar says. Now, this is a guy I've learned from over the years, real sales master. Here's the thing, guys. People don't buy for logical reasons. They buy for emotional reasons. So let that one sink in. Do you remember a bit earlier where I was talking to you and saying to you, know more about your audience, their aspirations, desires and dreams? That's not logic. That's knowing what their urges are for emotionally, what they want out of life. And so Zig Ziglar is telling us here that people buy for emotional reasons. So that's the first clue that I gave you a bit earlier. Now Zig's also showing you that. Here's the thing. Logic makes people think. Emotion makes people act. So when it comes to selling, there must be emotion. Yeah? There must be your emotion and there must be the client's emotion. So before we get into selling in particular, I want to share with you this example of Pin Binning, one of our clients who use the secret sales script. Now Pin is a driving instructor coach. He teaches other drivers how to become driving instructors basically through his coaching program. So he has a training program where he teaches other drivers to step into this career. So you can see that off the back of doing a webinar, he was able to, as he put it in the red box on the left, close and seal the deal. The client purchased my course priced at $1,799, whereas most competitors, so that's the national companies in the UK, sell a similar course, similar but not the same, remember, for $1,200. So he's almost £600 more expensive than the biggest guys in the UK. So he's saying here, I've just realized how powerful the program really is. Vortex, life-changing. I am absolutely buzzing right now. I am dreaming even bigger now. Guys, please keep up the hard work and the results are inevitable. So there you go. And then what actually happened was that within 10 weeks of Pin being on the Vortex program, our main coaching program, he was able to close £10,794 worth of clients. So that was 6 clients who bought his program. What I can tell you now, guys, is that since then, I know Pin has coached and had through the training program 19 other drivers. So you can do the numbers on that one. So this stuff works when you have the right sales script, and we have that sales script because it's the one that he used. And as you can see in the rest of the testimonials, it's like he just said there, I've just come off that call, I followed the sales script that I was given on the program. So that's all it is, guys. It's like doing, you know, paint by numbers. We give you the blueprint and you follow it. And when you have the sales script in front of you and you use our secret sales script, you will get results too. Why should you have a script? You're probably thinking, well, a script's going to make me sound like a robot and people are going to know that I'm reading from a script. Well, here's the thing, guys. You have a script so that you can become a Hollywood star. Yeah? Bear with me a second, guys. I don't want this to be too cheesy. So we can see some actors here with Oscars. So these are people who regularly appear in films, and you know that all films have scripts. So Hollywood actors have to rehearse their lines. And then some of the great ones, they rehearse their lines and they ad-lib. So by then they've got used to the flow, they're in character, they understand, you know, what they need to portray for their audience, their prospective clients, i.e. the viewers. So when you use a script, guys, you rehearse, you do role play. And this is something that we do with our clients when they come onto our program. We get you in the flow so that you can put on a performance of integrity, being able to solve what your customers have as problems and serve them as what they have as needs with such effortless flow that you get the results. The key thing is to create a consistent process for selling. See, what happens when you're nervous and you don't have a process and you don't have a script, you come across nervous, you come across panicky, you come across as unprofessional, and that's when results don't happen. And before you know it, you're in a place where you're not getting sales, the bank account's not looking too healthy, you're getting stressed out, and the thought of even jumping onto a sales call, you know, all of your belief is taken out of the picture, and it's kind of like you're trying to do this because it's your last step to get that next sale in so you can just make ends meet. By having a script, it gets rid of all of that frustration, you know, angst, pain. It gives you something you can work with and follow confidently and believe in. So there's 3 phases of the script that we use, and I'm just going to go into these 3 phases so you get an idea of what's on our secret sales script. So there's the pre-call. So the pre-call is all about getting people to be qualified beforehand. You may have some kind of qualifier. And this might be a questionnaire, a survey. You get customers to fill something in before you even get on the call. It's important that you know what problems, what needs, and who you're speaking to before you do the call. You don't want to end up with a time waster. Yeah, you need to know who you're speaking to first. So pre-call, qualify. The second step is that when you do get on the call, during the call, you need to understand what the goals are of your client. So you need to know what results they want to achieve. You need to know what problems they're currently going through, and then you need to lay out a plan for them whilst on the phone. So you identify the goals and you identify the problems. Now, if you can solve them and you can, solve the problems and help them to move towards the goals, then this is where your plan comes in place. If you can't help them, this is where, again, you must be ethical and you must show integrity. You simply refer them on to maybe some other training you have, or pass them on to another coach or another organization that can truly help them. This is important, guys. We only teach people through ethics and integrity when it comes to selling, because we don't believe in sleazy or pushy sales whatsoever. For us, it's all based on giving people value and helping them. So the third step is the wrap-up phase. So if you can help them, you've laid out a plan for them, and they're keen and they want to know what the next steps are, simply present an offer. And you say to the customer, and I'll give you this as a free tip, guys, you say, so would you like to work with me? And you stay quiet. And you stay quiet until they answer. This is paramount. You cannot talk. So at that point, when the customer says, yes, I would like to work with you, you say, great. Would you like me to tell you about the program that I have to help people just like you? You wait again. And then once they say yes, at that point, they're giving you the commitment to then tell them about your program. And when you tell them, now you can go into what's in your program, your price, and then you can ask them, would they like to go ahead with one payment, or do they need flexible monthly payments? And that's it, guys. But when you have the secret sales script, we actually fill in all of the gaps in between what I've just mentioned, so that you can do this effortlessly like a Hollywood actor, guys. So here it is, results. I've taken you through those 7 pillars, but what are the results? Well, here's some examples of results, guys. This is directly from our dashboard on Stripe, stripe.com. Stripe.com is just like PayPal. It's a way for you to accept payments. And it's really cool, actually, because you can take debit and credit card payments. And here's some examples of the high value sales that we were doing in our business. We've got 2 orders there for £2,000, so 1997. And then we've got some other orders that we've taken payment on for some of our other smaller products. And I'm showing you this, guys, so you know that when you wrap all of these 7 pillars together, it builds the business that you want to take you to 6 and 7 figures. This is no BS, guys. This is true, and everything that I've laid out is exactly what you need to take you to that next level. So bringing it together, guys, we have the Vortex V3 methodology. Everything that we teach in our programs is based on this methodology. And if you want to find out more, simply visit the link that you see on the bottom right hand of the screen. And it's bit.ly/V3 method. And you can find out more about the Vortex V3 methodology. So we have at the top, the Impact Accelerator, bottom right, education-based marketing, and on the bottom left, automated processes. And within this methodology, this is our unique way of how we pull all these three things together so that you can take your coaching business to the next level and hit those results, goals, aspirations that you so desire. All right then, so I just want to give you this quick story, guys. So there was once these 2 friends, these 2 guys, and they started off as young boys, went to the same school, and they had pretty much the same opportunities come across to them. And they were both, in terms of, intellect, above average. They were go-getters. And eventually they made it to college, and then they went on to university. And, they went about their way, carving out a career. They both got married and had children, got families. And they had big dreams, during their younger years. And as they grew up, they went about trying to go after them and achieve them. And then 25 years later, something happened. There was a key thing that happened. They were called back to a high school reunion. And so, because they'd gone on different paths, they'd kind of separated over the years, but they were called back to this high school reunion where they met back up. And there was a huge difference. You see, the one had become a manager within a department of a company, and the other was actually the owner of that company. You see, the first one had dreams and desires, but didn't find the right path, didn't find a coach to help him go there. Whereas the second one, he sought out the right coach. He went about finding people who could help him. He went about finding a path, a blueprint that he could follow, and that's what led him to the success of being the business owner. Now, what I want to say to you guys is that in order to take your coaching business to the next level, you need to find the right coach, the right mentors. And what we've put together in Business Owner Elevation with our programs and what we do for our clients, this is what we will help you to do, to move to that next level and hit your goals and go after your dreams and what you desire. So the only question you should be asking yourself right now is, how can I get those results in my business and what I've taken you through in this presentation? Well, it's pretty simple, guys. And it's a great question, so let me show you. Well, you can do it slow and try and patch together some of the stuff you've learnt today from me in this presentation. But you and I both know trial and error is the slowest way to get results. Or you can do it fast. So if you haven't already booked yourself in for an Elevation Blueprint call, you need to do so now. But if you're watching this in preparation for your call, well done to you. We're looking forward to speaking to you. But if you're yet to book yourself in, I implore you, go do it now. Don't end up like the other person who didn't hit the goals and just became another worker, another employee. Yeah, build your business. Don't help building somebody else's business or dream. So this is not for everybody, guys. This is not for people who are not ready to invest time and effort to use the proven concepts to improve their circumstances. And it's not for action takers. Yeah, people who don't take action. It's not for people who they just like to throw money at problems and not implement the hard work. And it's not for sharks or crooks with what they do, because we know and share with you powerful sales and marketing strategies that get results. So if you aren't congruent with us and lead from the heart, this isn't for you. We work with a limited number of clients each year, and this is so that we can deliver the best service and value to them. So if you're experiencing problems and want to fix them, book yourself in for the Blueprint call now, guys. It's very straightforward. So the Elevation Blueprint call make it easy to identify where the key obstacles are that you're currently facing, identify which marketing strategy will best suit your business, especially your coaching business, and generate a consistent flow of leads and sales to create continuous cash flow to help you live the lifestyle you desire. Very straightforward. Go to businessownerelevation.com/EBC. It's been Leon Street from Business Owner Elevation. I just want to say it's been a pleasure presenting these 7 pillars to you. It's something that we take our clients through, as I mentioned before, on our programs. It gets results. It's working day in, day out. And I very much look forward to helping you go towards your dreams, desires, and goals. It's exciting for me. This is our purpose. This is what myself, Phil, and Rob do. So we look forward to working with you in the very near future. Thank you for watching, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.